This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. Interviewing musicians, comedians, sports personalities, anyone who has a story. What they've been through, what they've gone through, who's encouraged them, who's inspired them. And we're sharing music by artists from all over the world. Thanks for joining today. Hope you can find it encouraging today. Kick back and relax. This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. It's always about encouraging others. This is Kirsty Krause, Delusional.
If I'm being a little close, don't mean I wanna go home. If I'm down jogging cold, don't mean I'm ready to roll. If I'm dancing with you, just means I got some. Oh, I'll lead, cause you better believe I don't need a hand to hold. But I come on strong, but you got me wrong. I just like this song, and the beat goes on. Twist and turn, but you never learn. Sometimes a girl just gotta move. Yeah, you spin me once, well, it don't be love. You don't stand a chance without this girl. It ain't my fault if you are delusional. If you use a line, baby, let me stop you right there. I know I got beautiful eyes, but it ain't what I want to hear. Don't wanna know your name, let me make that clear. Get on the floor in five, and baby, don't forget my beer. Boy, I come on strong, but you got me wrong. I just like this song, and the beat goes on. Twist and turn, but you never learn. Sometimes a girl just gotta move. Yeah, you spin me once, well, it don't mean love. You don't stand a chance without this girl. It ain't my fault if you are delusional. Come on strong, but you got me wrong. I just like this song, and the beat goes on. Twist and turn, but you never learn. Sometimes a girl just gotta move. Yeah, you spin me once, well, it don't mean love. You don't stand a chance without this groove. Yeah, you twist and turn, but you never learn. Sometimes a girl just gotta move. Yeah, you spin me once, well, it don't mean love. You don't stand a chance without this groove. It ain't my fault if you are delusional. Delusional. Delusional.
Hi there. Welcome back to Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. I'm your host, Jody Sheffield. So glad to have you back for another fun, exciting, encouraging interview and time together to share music. And I truly believe each and everyone out there has a story. What you faced, maybe someone's encouraged you, maybe someone inspired you, and maybe that person picked you up and when you fell flat on your face, going through some hard times. Over 125 episodes I've done, and continue to do meeting people, hearing their story. Back on episode 76, a long time ago, 2022, I met a person who is the founder of the Adventure Therapy Foundation and read more about her, hearing her story. She has an incredible story of challenges she's faced and still facing. She is fighting cancer right now. And I reached out to her today to have her back on the podcast and hear her story, get a recap of how she's doing and her foundation and amazing things she's doing. She has a heart for people. And the Adventure Therapy Foundation helps families who are going through cancer emotionally, brings out families out to different events, and now they're spreading all over the world. I'm so excited to have her on and to hear more about the Adventure Therapy Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chit Chat, the encouraging one on the podcast, Lauren Huffmaster. Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
Not bad, yourself?
I'm doing well today, thank you.
Been a while.
Yeah, it has. I was looking back on our emails. It looked like it was 2022, maybe.
Yeah, episode 76, and we're at 129 now, so it's been a hot minute.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Welcome back, Lauren Huffmaster. I really appreciate your time again, and can't wait to catch up with you and hear your story a little bit. For those who, I got a lot of new listeners, so I might get you like to review your story a little bit. But share some updates about yourself and a little bio for those folks who might not know who you are.
Yeah, hi, I'm Lauren Huffmaster. I am the founder of Adventure Therapy Foundation, and I have been living with cancer for 8 years. I've been in constant treatment for the entire time. Currently, I am in a traditional chemo, which means I've lost my hair and I have those hard weeks around chemo, but I continue to do what's important, which is living out this purpose that I find in my story, and that is helping others through their experience of cancer. So that's where I am today. Adventure Therapy is doing great. We're growing, we're shifting, but we're getting closer and closer to our heart every day. So that's really good news for me.
And you wear many hats. We'll discuss some of those today. As where you're an author, I hear, and you're a podcaster. So I'm not sure where to begin. Let's go with books. Share about some of your books you've written or writing, the process of writing.
Yeah, so I have a book that will come out this spring. It's called Cancering, Exploring the Seasons of Emotional Healing. And it really is laying out my philosophy. It's not a memoir. It's laying out the philosophy of healing around cancer, because I think that this is a topic that really hasn't been touched on. How do we emotionally recover from cancer? There's so much that we experience: fear, isolation, and a broken identity. So how do we know what we're feeling and then move forward once our treatments are done? This is really important to me. It's what adventure therapy is trying to teach and bring into people's lives as well. So that book is very exciting. I'm also collaborating on a children's book around some of the very same ideas, broken identity, and that's with Gilead, who is a pharma here in the San Francisco area. So we're going to have a few things coming out in the next few months, and I'm very excited about these possibilities because I don't think anything's on the market that fills this gap.
Please let me know when they come out. I'd love to share them on the podcast and how people can reach you and buy those books as well. So anybody can help promote you and promote your books as well. Please let me know.
Definitely will.
And you're also writing, I believe you're creating a healthcare package. I believe I was reading your kind of your bio a little bit. How's that going for you?
Yeah, so with Adventure Therapy Foundation, we're pushing ourselves to be more of a national, regional, and so we're doing a number. We're trying to create a platform where people can apply for homes that are free to them all over the country, so they can still have that retreat piece, which is big for adventure therapy, getting people out into nature, into new spaces. And then the other thing we're trying to do is create a mental health packet so that you can apply, and wherever you are, we can send you tools for really figuring out where your brain is, where your emotions are through this cancer experience, and give you tools for growing and changing for the better. It's this post-traumatic growth. That's our goal here. And we want to give you tools for that. So Adventure Therapy is going to launch quite a few new things in the next few months, as like I said, as we move toward a national model rather than a regional one.
Let's backtrack a little bit. What is the Victor Therapy Foundation, and when did you get started?
Yeah, so Adventure Therapy Foundation is a nonprofit that I launched when I was first. So I have triple negative breast cancer. This is desirable breast cancer, I think, for anyone to have. But when I was diagnosed, I knew that this wasn't just a moment of my life. This was going to be the rest of my life. And I wanted my life to have some purpose. I wanted to have a ministry. I wanted to use my weakness and to make others strong. And so I launched Adventure Therapy Foundation. And we do a number of things. We do adventures. So we do retreats. We do activities in nature. We lead a lot of events and 1-day activities, but also 3 or 4-day retreats. And then, sort of in the therapy kind of mode, we're doing a lot of mental health. So we're providing tools around mental health, educational platforms online. Like you mentioned, we have the podcast where we're talking about growth and healing through cancer. And so we're really trying to address that emotional piece around the cancer experience.
You've helped so many families in dealing with emotional stresses of cancer. What are some big things that your foundation does? I'm sure there are a lot. I'm sure we could be here all day, kind of discussing the many activities and many programs you have. But what are some of the key areas that you have that you really push to help families deal with cancer emotionally?
Yeah, for one thing is we want to acknowledge the whole family. When someone is diagnosed, the whole family is walking through that experience. So we really try to acknowledge what I call the co-survivors, which is the spouses, the partners, even the children in the household who every day of their life is impacted by cancer in some way. And so we want to provide tools so that everyone in their family can be acknowledged about their struggles, their experience with cancer. And so we provide parenting and relational supports. But we mentioned earlier, we provide retreats. And as people go through our educational platforms, they can earn a retreat, which is a free vacation where we pay for everything and allow them to go away as a family to try to bond and really allow some of those tools to set in. And so that's one of our retreats. We this year Last year we launched a program called Kinship to try it out, and it was a huge success. So this year we're expanding that kinship idea. And a kinship is really a small group of people who want to get together and make a commitment for a year. So it is everyone should be impacted by cancer, but they should also hopefully have something else in common. For example, the first kinship we launched were all teachers. Everyone was a teacher who had cancer. And
Wow.
so, and they've been meeting for a year. They have grown to quite a large group and they support each other. Just yesterday, one of the teachers put out on that platform, I need a ride to and from treatment. And she got so many different people stepping up, willing to take care of her. And so that is sort of the idea of these kinship programs. Is to create a community that people can lean on and call when they get a bad scan or call when they have a great something to share. This year, we're launching them across the country. So if you're interested in starting a group, I've already done the hard work of putting together a nonprofit. I don't want you to have to spend years of your life just doing paperwork. I want you to get to the part of helping others or creating community in your area. So if you would like to start a kinship, feel free to reach out to us. But we have one starting in South Carolina. We have some starting in the Sacramento area. And so we're going to have quite a few popping up around the country this year. We're in conversations with other individuals. And the idea is that an individual in a certain region can start a kinship and we will support them structurally, financially. We just want these communities to thrive. And so
Mm.
that is something new we're doing this year. Those kinships can impact their community in whatever ways they want. Here in our area, we might help take care of people's financial needs, food needs, but we're a community having fun, doing great things together, but when needs pop up, we do everything we can to take care of those around us. So the kinships are a great option for us. Like you said, we have the podcast where we're really trying to teach people, give stories of how cancer can take you from hard to good. And so every one of our podcast talks ends with, what is the gift of cancer? And this is a hard question, but it's true. There's good things in the experience of cancer. And that is really our heart, just to continue to show people that even in bad situations, there is good. We have to just look for that.
You had my notes. That was my next subject. Is your podcast Adventure with Scars? And at the end, I'm playing a little snippet of one of your podcasts, kind of what it's about, for folks to kind of follow as well. So I'm excited for people to hear about your podcast. You've done 2 seasons so far as well. I noticed one of your guests was your husband. What was that like?
Well, like I said, we really want to show that co-survivors have a cancer story too. And my husband has spent a lot of time, obviously, taking care of me. 8 years. I mean, it's like almost half of our marriage. I've had to go through this cancer experience, constant set of treatments and scans for this whole season. And so he has a cancer story to tell as well. And I love that I can bring him on with me. He's a super smart guy. So he has some really deep insights into what it feels like to be a husband while you're watching your wife like walk through these hard things. And of course, cancer impacts our relationship. There's impossible for it to not do that. But for us to tell the struggles of cancer and marriage together, cancer and parenting together, these are important topics that are very vulnerable. I don't always feel comfortable with them, but I know they're important to say out loud. So, yeah, my husband joins me. He and I actually travel and speak together often. So, I love it when he can come and tell his story too.
Did it take you a while to kind of realize doing a podcast, the vulnerability of it, as you said, and sharing your story to the world, basically? How long did that take you to kind of get that your focus, how you want to do that and presentate that to people around the world?
Yeah, the first few years of having adventure therapy, I did not want to be the person. I didn't want to, not necessarily want to be the voice, but the deeper I dug into the why am I doing this? Why is this so important to me? I started to find so many thoughts and revelations around the experience of cancer that I had to share them in some way. And I started writing the book, but books take a long time, or at least they take me a long time to actually like get that final polished version. And so I started the podcast as a way to sort of dip into all the key concepts. So that season 1 is me just sort of walking through my philosophy. And I say it, I think on every episode is, this is a discussion. I do not know if I'm the right path or not. I just don't see any other paths. So I want to get out there and at least start walking and talking this out. And if other people have other ideas, that is great. I invite them in. But then after I finished talking about my philosophy, I then invited to hear other people's experience. And I asked them, do you agree with my philosophy or do you find it completely wrong? And we really have a conversation about that.
And you and I are in the same realm. We're trying to encourage others. You're encouraging people about the facing emotional stresses of cancer and so forth, and giving back to your community and to others. I think that's so awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, we're definitely we have our eyes open and we have our ears open, and when we hear of a need or we hear of a story, we want everyone to feel heard and seen. One of our major philosophies is eliminating isolation. We work really hard to make sure people are seen and heard. And because when you're in cancer, just physically, you have to step out of sort of the flow of life for a while, and that can require that you're home a lot and you lose a lot of those relationships, those natural places of socialization. And so we want to make sure, even while you're home, you're in treatment, that you're not alone. We hear you, we see you.
And that's why those support groups are so valuable for people who feel like they're shut in. Like a lot of elderly are kind of shut in and can't do much. It's nice to have a connection to someone you can talk with, you can cry with, laugh with during your process.
Absolutely, 100% correct. You're right.
And you have little kids as well. How old are your kids now?
My kids are growing up. They were 2, 4, and 6 when I was diagnosed, but now they're 10, 12, and 14.
Yeah, when you feed and water them, kids grow really fast.
Yeah.
You can share about your coaching platform you have as well, your risefound.com. You mind sharing about that a little bit?
Yeah, so a few years ago, I went through a cancer coaching training. So I became a certified cancer coach. And I wanted to create videos because I'm not maybe always available to people all the time. So I created a series of videos bringing in some friends who specialize in nutrition or specialize in something different. And I created a series of videos at risefound.org where people could just at any time of day or night, because again, if you're up at night because you can't sleep because you had steroids for cancer or something, you might want somewhere to go to try to focus your mind. And so I had all of this in mind and wanted people to have a place to turn to. So there's a number of videos there on lots of different topics. And again, all moving toward this goal of each person on that platform had an post traumatic growth. They were all impacted by cancer and they all grew through that experience and went on to do something amazing. And so I just wanted to capture their stories and what they learned and what they're specializing in now. And so that's what we've put there.
Since you've been sharing your story through your foundation, your books, your podcast, I'm sure you received a bunch of emails, letters, maybe personal encouragement. What's that like when someone comes up to you and tells you the impact you're making in their lives and how you're helping them deal with cancer?
At first it was like, good, I'm on the right track, and then more and more recently, it's become deeply personal. I know that I'm on the right track. I know this is whatever whatever path I'm on. This is the path I'm supposed to be on. So now when people talk to me, it hits me deep. Like I'm getting that impact. I'm getting those results that I work for, and I work for just to do the right thing with this amount of knowledge and wisdom I've been given. And now I see like, oh, this knowledge is landing on people. This wisdom is really opening their hearts. I very naively, perhaps, or arrogantly at one point was talking to a survivor, and he went on and on about how he's been in therapy for a decade and all these things. And I stopped and I was like very abrupt, and I was like, stop going to therapy and you need to listen to my podcast, because if you're not talking about the right things, you're never going to get to that core problem, that core pain. And then later I thought that was like the dumbest thing I could possibly say. And then last week someone sent me a message and said, I've been in therapy for years, but your podcast healed me in ways therapy never did. And I was like, maybe I wasn't so crazy. But you just never know if you're crazy or if you're on the right path. So I'm really glad these ideas are landing in people and helping them heal.
Can you share with people how to connect with you, your foundation, perhaps order a book as your books are coming out soon?
Yeah, you could check us out at adventuretherapyfoundation.org. That is our website. We have social media, of course. I have a website, iamlauren.net, and you could come and see some of my other passion projects as they come out. They'll be on there. And you can follow me on social as well.
Your mom, you're leading a foundation, you're writing books, you're coaching. You have time to relax? If so, how do you relax?
Well, in many ways, this is my form of relaxation because I'm living with cancer. A week out of every 3 weeks, I am down on the couch because I had chemo. And so I have to have a place for my mind to go. And in many ways, finding solutions for others, find solutions for me. And so it is very personal. But my favorite thing to do is just escape into the woods. I love being in the woods and then in the mountains, finding a river or a creek somewhere and sitting beside it. I love more than anything just the smell of the woods.
We spoke about that last time we talked about years ago about walking in the woods and finding waterfalls and creeks and streams and just to get away from the busyness and craziness of life. It's definitely I don't do it near enough, but I love getting out in the woods, finding a waterfall somewhere. I find I love that relaxing.
Absolutely. I grew up with rivers in my backyard. So just the sound of the river really just takes me away, and I feel so much better. So yes, I apparently haven't changed in 2 years. It's still my favorite thing.
Any exciting plans or anything that's coming up soon you want to share about, or just it's the same, the books and stuff?
Yeah, well, we have retreats coming up. If you're in the California area, we have a retreat booked in Mendocino, which is beautiful coast area. Um, and and yeah, there's quite a few things coming up I can't announce, but we won a few awards. This
Oh,
week there will be an award ceremony and we'll make an announcement. And then in a couple of weeks, there's a really big award that we've won and it will be made public as well. So the middle, I think the first week of March is the big award. So yeah, follow us on social media, see the good work we're doing, and we'll let you know how we're being honored for that.
as always, I'd love to ask my guests if they could share some encouragement with someone out there. I bet there are a lot of cancer fighters, cancer survivors out there who maybe just dropped that diagnosis that you have cancer. What are some encouraging words you can share with someone today who may be going through that?
Yeah, you are not alone. And that is the most important thing because find someone, even if it's finding me, and you can find me and I will call you, but find someone to talk to you to remind you that you are not alone. There are millions of others walking through this, and there are available to support you through this process. You are strong enough, and even though it doesn't feel like strength, the struggle itself proves how strong you are. And so, just keep going. Allow us to support you. Find people to talk to. The biggest thing is that you're not alone.
My wife has a verse on my desk here that she put on my she bought for me. It's called the Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you are. I pray for you and your foundation and your health and your family and the many people you're impacting and sharing your journey. And I hope we get you back on next year and kind of and just follow up. And I can't wait for the many chapters of your foundation spreading around the United States and who knows where it may lead.
You're right. Only God knows. So I'm very excited as well. It's like this year is a package. It's just a gift that's going to unwrap itself that God's given to me. So I'm very excited about what this year holds.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope we can stay in touch.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye.
Welcome to Adventure with Scars. I'm your host, Lauren Huffmaster, a young mother who's impacted by metastatic breast cancer. Today I want to talk to you about why. What is my intention behind this podcast? It is so important to me to tell the story of cancer. And yes, that involves my story, but it involves the story of hundreds of people that I've listened to, talked to, sought out to help. The story of cancer is bigger than we know. It has more themes. It has very similar trajectories, and there's so much we can still learn about the experience of cancer. A lot of research is being done on how to cure cancer, but how do we as a society learn to heal from the wounds that cancer has created? How do we keep cancer from impacting the next generation? Well, I'll tell you, we have to start today. Whatever comes for tomorrow, if there is a cure next year or in 10 years, I will be happier than anyone. But if we have not done the work of healing our society emotionally from the culture of fear around cancer, from the impact it has on our families and our children, today, even today, is having this impact, then that impact will continue for generations. And so I feel very strongly because my children are young, they will never have a memory that is not impacted by cancer. And I want us as a society to be able to remove that burden from their shoulders because I believe with all of my heart that the next generation will not know the same cancer that we know, that there will be cures for them. But they will carry that fear. They will carry those hurts that are created today and in this generation if we cannot learn to heal from those hurts ourselves. Through my work, I've heard hundreds of stories of people impacted by cancer. And I have heard I have heard the same response from people all over the country and all over the world. We are all experiencing typical emotional side effects of cancer, and we don't know it. We are all experiencing fear, isolation, and a deconstructed identity. And by that I mean we were one person before our diagnosis, and then after we go through treatment, after we face death, we often have to take who we were apart and decide who we want to be. And very rarely does the person who we were before and who we want to be perfectly align. There is some shift there. There is some change that happens at the core of us, and it has to be acknowledged. We must grieve for what was and what we've lost, even if it's an idea, the idea that we would grow old and unscarred. It has to be grieved before we can move forward. And so the intention of this podcast is to call out these themes experienced in the cancer diagnosis, in the cancer treatment, in the cancer survivorship. All of these pieces, there's these themes. And I want to bring those to light. I want to have a conversation about what they are and what they mean to us and how they're seeping into every crevice of our life. I want us to become aware so that when we wake up and we're feeling alone or we're feeling afraid, we don't also take on shame. We don't say, well, I was the only one not strong enough to get through this without some depression. I must be the only one who got through this experience, but just couldn't really be myself again. No, we are all experiencing these side effects and we don't know it. And so if we can just call this out, we can put it in the light and say, these are typical, these are the normal responses to cancer, then there will be no reason for us to have shame any longer. We will know it is a difficult process, and we'll know what that process looks like. I believe by understanding the process of cancer, then creating language for this process, we will be able to create tools that address the true heart that makes cancer such a difficult disease. And by creating tools, we can ultimately find solutions that supersede our own life, but go into forward from this moment forward. Every person diagnosed will not have to experience the same cancer that we experienced last year and 5 years and 10 years before. But even though there are millions and 10 millions of people diagnosed with cancer, the systems are just not in place. The systems that a patient needs to find help, to find the resources, to find other survivors and other patients, those just don't exist. Though there's millions and billions of dollars in the industry, they are not going to the needs of the patient. They're going for the medical breakthroughs, the cures, which is absolutely necessary. But I believe that fear is just as necessary for us to overcome, because fear isn't contagious. We are passing it on to the next generation. We're passing it on to our children and our loved ones. And we have to stop the cycle of fear, the disease of fear that is impacting our kids' lives. Research shows that if you grow up in a stressful environment, in a fearful environment, you're going to have bad health outcomes. So while cancer is present in our current lives, our current generation, the fear that is attached to that is also going to create bad health outcomes if we do not address it today. And so the conversation we're having in this podcast is about bringing out what is normal. What is the normal experience of cancer in the emotional realm? Emotional, spiritual healing is available for us. But we have to know what we're dealing with. We have to know that we're not alone. We have to have a language to talk about it to our loved ones. We have to give them a language so they can talk about it to us. We must do better at talking about the emotional side effects of cancer. And that is what we intend to do on this podcast. Thank you for listening. Join this conversation. Follow us as we continue to delve into what it means to be impacted by cancer.
Our next song is by Francesca Tarantino, Truth Cannot Hide.
I was a shoulder for you to cry on. Listen by your side. But we both know that the truth cannot hide. Lies every time it's in your eyes. Why your secrets too big, and I tried to hold it and stand by your side. But we both know that the truth cannot hide. Yes, the truth cannot hide. To hold it, stand by your side. But we both know that the truth cannot hide.
Well, it's time to take a quick break for our commercials, for our sponsors, sharing about local businesses here in the area. They've been part of this podcast for a while, and I'm always reaching out to other businesses, locally owned, veteran-owned, whoever wants to come on board, and I can share about them and their business and get their word out. So let's step away for about a minute or so to enjoy some commercials by local sponsors. Are you craving some authentic, fresh Mexican food? I got two places for you. Are you ready? You got a pen and paper? One, Tequila Street. It's a mobile food truck located in Silverdale, Washington at 9571 Silverdale Way. They have some of the best breakfast burritos I've ever eaten. My favorite is the barbecued pulled pork burrito. They have other Mexican items as well, but breakfast burritos are amazing. You can reach them at 360-914-9152. That's Tequila Street. Also, at the Kitsap Mall in Silverdale, Washington, there's Tequila. There, they have over 5 kinds of tacos, burritos, chimichangas, and my favorite there, grilled jalapenos. Delicious. I know, I'm getting you hungry, right? Either Tequila Street or Tequila, and their number at the mall is 360-698-4335. Roberto and his staff are amazing. They're friendly, and their food is delicious. Come on by, check them out. That's Tequila Street at 9571 Silverdale Way in Silverdale, or Tequila at the Kitsap Mall in Silverdale. 360-698-4335. I'm telling you, they got some of the best Mexican food in Kitsap County. It's locally owned and operated and very, very good. See you there. What do you get when you combine a brick oven, some homemade sauces, hand-breaded JoJo's, hand-breaded chicken, homemade dough, all in one place? You will find some of the best tasting food in Kitsap County. I'm talking about Chico Chicken and Pizza. Their menu ranges from all kinds of pizzas and specialty subs. They have some really good chicken meal deals for the family and great tasting sides. And their chicken is not your normal run the chicken. No. They don't throw the chicken in some fryer and call it good. Their chicken is brined, breaded, pressure fried, and prepared in a classic brine. They season it to perfection. Then they pressure fry it to a delicious golden brown to deliver the best tasting chicken in town. Some of the great sides they have are baked macaroni and cheese, with JoJo's like bacon and cheddar and garlic and parmesan, as well as baked beans and potato salad. Everything is made with the freshest ingredients every day. They are locally owned and operated, so why not give Chico Chicken and Pizza a call today and place your order at 360-550-4041 or their website at chicochickenandpizza.com. They are also located at 2165 Irvins Point Road in Wilmington, and they're open from noon to 10 p.m. every day. That's Chico Chicken and Pizza. Eat well, eat local. next song I'm playing, instrumental piece, is by Raymond Hayden, and it's called Light at the End of the Tunnel. And Raymond has been in the music industry for over 40 years, and he has collaborated, he has helped a lot of musicians and artists. He is a very gifted musician, and I love his pieces. They just kind of transform you into another place. This is Light at the End of the Tunnel. 19th Hole and Bar and Grill at 2171 Erlands Point Road in Bremerton. Are you looking for a place to wind down for some nice cold beverages, some amazing food, and amazing customer service as well? Come on down to 19th Hole Bar and Grill. It's a great atmosphere where you can hang out with family and friends and maybe co-workers as well. Come on down. Did you know it's one of the oldest bars in Kitsap County, dating back to 1939, and the menu is to die for. Every week, every day, something special. Like Sundays and Mondays, steak night, Tuesdays, Taco Tuesday, Wednesday, wing night, and Fridays are always fish and chips night. With amazing halibut and cod. I also got burgers, sandwiches, salads, and much, much more. And you've got a banquet room for bigger gatherings of friends and families for like birthday parties and whatever shindig you got. Did you know they are rated #1 bar and grill in the best of Kitsap County in 2022 and 2023. They're locally owned and operated. Maybe if you're too busy to stop in, place your order today. Call 360-813-3501 or go to the website at 19thholebarngrill.com today. Their hours are 11 to 11 Monday through Friday and 8 to 11 Saturday and Sunday. This is 19th Hole Bar and Grill in Bremerton. Eat local, eat well. When I say donuts, what comes to mind? Those donuts sitting on a shelf for a week and a half, small and wrinkly. No. Lone Star Donuts are Texas-style donuts. But you know what? We're in Washington State, and there's 3 locations with nearly 50 flavors. Silverdale, Washington, at 360-204-5021. Port Orchard, Washington, 360-443-2600. And in Poulsbo, Washington, 360-626-1164. And I said, nearly 50 flavors of donuts and kolaches. Ever had one? So you might get one. They're delicious. They're Texas-style donuts, so they're huge, homemade, locally owned and operated business. Great tasting donuts. Get some today. For you, for your friends, your family, for your co-workers. Lone Star Donuts. Great tasting donuts around. And you know what? You can't buy happiness, but you can buy donuts. That's pretty much close to the same thing, right? Lone Star Donuts in Kitsap County. Silverdale, Port Orchard, and Poulsbo. Check them out today. Sharing a few of the National Day Calendar days from February 28th through March 5th. The 28th is Chocolate Souffle Day. Have you ever had a chocolate souffle? Maybe you have. The 29th is National Leap Year Day and Toast Day. So make you some toast. Throw some peanut butter on it because the next one is Peanut Butter Lovers Day. So I love peanut butter, especially peanut butter cookies, my favorite. March 2nd is Banana Cream Pie Day. I do like a good banana cream pie. I do like banana pudding too, though, with vanilla wafers in the bowl. March 3rd is I Want You to Be Happy Day. March 4th is a Sun's Day. S-O-N-S, not the sun, bright sun. So you get a sun. Tell them thank you. And March 5th is Cheese Doodle Day. That's Doodle, D-O-O-D-L-E. Check more about these National Day Calendar days. Go to nationaldaycalendar.com. This is for National Day Calendar days from February 28th through March 5th. This is Jennifer Malott. Back for more.
No one ever prepared me for this. The years you spent thinking of what you miss. In my 20s, still wandering around, trying to pick up pieces from the lost and found. I'm no quitter, but I felt the dark. The kind that grips your heart and pulls out your spark. But I fight back with all my might. I know sometimes that I lose sight.
thank you for joining today's podcast episode. We had great tunes today. We had Kirsty Krause, Raymond Hayden, Jennifer Malott, and Francesca Tarantino, a young up-and-coming singer. And Jennifer's song was her brand new song. It just came out. So great tunes today and just fun times. And a very special interview with my good friend Lauren Huffmaster, who is diagnosed with cancer, fighting cancer, but it's also her foundation is doing amazing things all across the United States. The Adventure Therapy Foundation. Reach out to her. And she's helping families all over the world. Please subscribe and follow the podcast as we share encouragement and positivity all over the world. This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one-on-one podcast. What's always about, you guessed it, encouraging others. Take care.
But I learned, you'll never guess. Go on, take one guess. Too late? Okay, I'll tell you. I learned that I'm okay. I'm not as bad as I thought I was.
That's a lesson one can only learn from the school of oneself.
Wow, what a Werner-like thing to say. But you know something, Orson? I'd like to thank you for letting me see what Mindy's life would be like without me. But please, I never want to see what my life would be like without her.
You know, Mort, I think you're beginning to grow.
Well, sir, I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know that I made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be. So I'll catch you on the rebound, your magnitude. Until next week. Nanu. Nanu.
This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one-on-one podcast. It's always about encouraging others.